Persian mystics thought of the phoenix as the symbol of the human soul, reborn from its own dead body. The crisis of the mythical phoenix was its burning, and out of its ashes came the rebirth. One has the choice of viewing crisis as a positive aspect of change. The crisis for Azim Khamisa was the shooting of his beloved son, Tariq.
This tale ends where most tales begin.
It was the middle of that January night when they be crossing. Caught up in the mix show, but they be crossing. Like TNT, they would explode. Tony Bone and Tariq, they were headed for rip mode. Tony Bone told the 9mm while Tariq was on the streets of North Park toting pizza. Here comes some pizza, y'all. Let's rob some pizza, y'all. You got my 9 bones, you ready? Is you ready? Antoine, he was the boss of the black mob deep as they stood against the wall of the driveway. With these other 3 youngins looking up at this youngin' as if he got some power or some mad something. Tariq was scared of what was running through this man's mind. Tony scared with his hand on this man's 9. Antoine gave the call, the hammer dropped.
Most of us don't think that our children die before we do. So never expect to bury your children. Tariq grew up in an environment with family and religion and values. He was a very kind person and very generous person. Tariq also was blessed with a very great sense of humor. He laughed very easily. I remember that he could soften even the most gravest moments with a crack or a joke. He was very happy in his relationship with Jennifer. And they had plans to get married. Losing an only son is devastating.
Tony grew up as a child who was born to a 15-year-old, my daughter. So Tony relied a great deal on people in the family other than his mom. My mom assisted with his raising. I, of course, assisted with his raising. He was very troubled by the fact that he didn't have a relationship with his dad. But invariably, the call of being with his friends got stronger and stronger.
My son, Tariq Khamisa, on the night that he was killed, was delivering pizzas.
Late that night, 11 o'clock news, there was a news report.
Tariq Khamisa was shot and killed while delivering a pizza.
And a very bad feeling came over me, because it was the first time that since Tony had been with me that he wasn't in bed sleeping.
It was gang-related. They have this procedure, what they call jerking the pizza man. Tariq was asked to give up the pizza, and he said no. And the 18-year-old gave the order to a 14-year-old. Gang name was Bones. He said, bust him, Bones. And a bullet was fired. It was one bullet, but it was fatal.
Tony committed a cowardly act. He shot and killed a defenseless person. And no way that you can make that right.
I'm admitting, sir, that on that date you did in fact shoot and kill Mr. Khamisa during the attempted commission of a robbery. Is that correct?
Yes.
Tony did the right thing and took responsibility and pled guilty to first-degree murder. And at his sentencing, he gave a very emotional, remorseful speech.
On January 21st, 1995, I shot and killed Tariq Khamisa, a person I didn't even know and who didn't do anything wrong to me. I still don't know why I shot Tariq. I didn't really want to hurt him or anyone else. I'm sorry for the pain that I caused with Tariq's father, Mr. Khamisa. I pray to God every day that Mr. Khamisa will forgive me for what I've done.
Azim's astonishing reaction? Forgiveness.
From NBC News, this is Today with Bryant Gumbel and Katie Couric.
Tariq Khamisa was 20 years old when he was shot to death in January of last year in San Diego. His accused killer, Tony Hicks, was only 15. The killing illustrates an alarming trend over the past decade, which has seen a 300% increase in the number of murders committed by young people under 17. Azim Khamisa, the father of the victim, wants to put a stop to youth violence. He has started a foundation in memory of his son to help do that. And he's been joined in that effort by Ples Felix, the grandfather and guardian of Tariq's accused killer. Gentlemen, good morning. Thank you very much for joining us. Why did you want to start this foundation? And more importantly, why did you want to reach out to the grandfather and guardian of the young man who killed your son?
I wanted Ples to know that I did not feel any animosity towards him or his family. I saw victims at both ends of the gun. I felt both his family and mine were victimized by this tragic accident. When I met him, I also told him that I had started a foundation in the memory of my son, Tariq. Now, we do programs in schools. We do what we call the Violence Impact Forum. And these are very high-impact, interactive, reality-based encounters.
This man's grandson killed this man's son, and they're sitting here together, okay? And the only reason that all of us are here today is for you, and for you to see this and think about this and have this image in your mind.
How many of you here have brothers and sisters? Wow. All of you. How would you feel if you got a phone call like me and somebody told you that your brother or your sister was murdered? What would you do if your brother or your sister was murdered? What would you do? Many kids tell me that they would get revenge. Would revenge bring my son back to me? But it's caused more violence. Very good. Would revenge stop the pain and the hurt that we feel? No. Like he said, it would cause more violence. You see, all of us, young and old, can choose to be violent or to be non-violent. And I want you to remember that if we choose violence with violence, the pain and the sorrow we all feel will never go away. And the message I have for you, from my heart to yours, is that you are not alone. There is help here for you in your school, in your community, and also you can call me. We're here because we care about you very deeply. We love you, and we want you to know that all of you are very special people. We want to make this world safe for you children. But I'm also here to ask your help, because we cannot make this world safe without your help. So I want to hear from you loud and clear. Will you help me? Yes! Wonderful.
Remember the choices that you make. And remember, they live with you for the rest of your life. And remember that forgiveness can assure us peace. This is a tree we plant in the memory of my son Tariq and all the other kids that have been lost. And we also invite the children to come and plant flowering plants in memory of somebody they have lost. And we call this the Garden of Life.
The real obligation is to your children, grandchildren, and other young ones in our community who have not been stricken. Please believe me when I tell you, our children are not safe. Thank you and God bless.